Hi, this is Vicki from Grandma B's Junk Journal. I'm back with my third video in the process of making a junk journal memory album for one of my grandsons. I did make a video sewing in these signatures. However, I have said many times I'm not great with technology and it didn't work. So we're going to try it again. But this journal is pretty much done. I've got a few more pictures that I need to put in, but I did want to give you a look. So I've added my tassel, and that's just with some yarn and ribbon and rickrack, a little turtle, green turtle charm, a big safety pin with his name on it. I've closed it with a ribbon. I've covered the faces of a couple photos. I wanted to show you a couple pictures. So here is the signatures that I have sewn in. I've covered those holes up with buttons. The inside cover, I did end up covering it with some cardstock and some little stickers, and then I put his picture here. I did add some clips that I made. I added some fabric tabs. I did put that green cardstock there to kind of frame the photo. I'm just going to show you a couple more. Here is that, like, it's about a third, the little 4 inches that was left of the 12 by 12 that I cut 8 inches by 12 inches for the full pages, and then I had that 4-inch piece left. So I like to include these in the books because they're perfect for photos. So I have one photo here, and then I have a photo here, and then I put a photo there, and I'm going to flip. I marked this here. I did just want to show you, I added a white greeting card like that you would get from Joann's or Hobby Lobby, but I went ahead and added that. I love to add cards because they make flip outs and it gives you a lot of photo space. So I added a white card, and I attached it to an envelope. So the envelope is on this side. Normally I would keep the envelope open to stuff it with like cards and ephemera for my junk journals, but this is just a memory album for my grandson. So I went ahead and closed that envelope, and I put a photo here. I've attached the white card, so I put a photo on the front of the card. I put a photo on each side, on the inside. So that is a lot of real estate for photos or for journaling, whatever it is that your purpose to make this. So I just kind of wanted to give you a couple of ideas there. So besides me just gluing in a few more photos at the end, this journal or this memory album is pretty much done. This is what it looks like. It's very chunky with those 3 signatures in. Okay, so then we're going to try this again since I messed up my other video. This is the other twins memory album, and I went ahead and prepared it the same way I did with the other one. I've made my holes for my signatures, and again, I've used this little template that I created, and I have an extra hole here for that tassel that I'll put at the top. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. I have prepared my 3 signatures, and each signature has approximately 12 pages in it, and I think it's going to be like 168 total front and back for photos. And I didn't count how many photos I have in the other book that I just showed you, but I know I must have at least 50 photos of him in it. There's plenty of room for Mom and Dad to add a lot more that I didn't have. So anyways, all I did was I sorted my papers into 3 groups for 3 signatures. And I've just layered them just randomly. Now in my junk journals, I would have a lot more variety of papers, but since this is just for my grandsons, they are not interested in junk journal style albums. They just want photos. So I just mainly have scrapbook paper and a few envelopes. And I used my template to go ahead and, whoops, this one I did not punch. Well, that's okay. I've punched the holes in these 2 signatures. I did not punch them in here for some reason. I think I probably got distracted. I don't know. Let me check. Did I really? There's one hole. No, you know what? I'm losing my mind. I did do the holes here. Sorry, my daughter came out and totally got distracted here. So anyways, back to it. So I used this template and I just marked my holes. I used my big memory keeper chomper because that goes through all of these papers. Chomped my holes, clipped them together. They are ready to be sewn in. Now I like to sew the back signature in first and then work my way up. So the back and then the middle and then the front. So I have made, I've marked it, put a little sticky note so I get them in the right order. In the first signature and in the last signature are my pages of the storybook. So when you take your little golden books apart, they typically have 2 signatures and they're in order, of course. So I will take the first signature, add it to my first signature. I'll take the second signature and that's in the storybook. I'll add it to my last signature. My middle signature will not have any story pages in it at all, but I include extra papers so that they're all about, 12 or 13 pages a piece, okay? But by doing it that way, keeping the full storybook page signature here and the same here, it will keep your story pages in order. Now the older little golden books, like the early 1900s, middle, mid-century, a lot of times they are glued, and that becomes a little bit more challenging putting together. Definitely can be done. You just have to do it in a different way. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get to sewing here. So I use embroidery thread. Lots of people use lots of different things. I mean, you can use twine, you can use waxed thread, lots of things. I typically use the embroidery thread because I have a large stash of it, so it works for me. Now, this is a needle threader. If you have never used one of these, I highly recommend it. It's just a little metal notion that I use for my quilting and sewing life, but it works very well here. I was at a quilt retreat last summer. We needed some of these, so I ordered some from Amazon. They come in a package with quite a few of them, and they're only a couple dollars. So definitely is worth it. 2 ends. The small end would be if you were using a small needle with a small eye. It would go into that. Since this is a bigger, chunkier needle, I'm going to use the bigger end. And so all you do is stick it through the eye of the needle, and you put the end of your thread or whatever it is that you're using, and then you just pull it through, and there you go. How simple is that, right? As far as how much thread or whatever you're using, how much do you need? I don't measure, but I know a lot of people will measure like 3 or 4 widths of your book, which is great if that's what you want to do. I really don't. I just leave it attached, and it works well for me. I'm going to try my best to stay in frame here, and I wear bifocals, trifocals actually, and I'm going to kind of probably have a challenge here. I'm going to do the best that I can, but I apologize if I'm slow or if I get out of frame. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through the middle. And then I'm going to go through, I'm using that back row here. I'm going to go through that. I am going to bring it up to the top hole in the back and see if I can get it through here on camera. Okay, there we go. All right, so brought it through the top. Now I'm going to gently pull it. Okay, now I'm going to hold this and bring it down because I have to go back through that middle, and I don't want to like stab into that thread because then it would be a mess. So I like to just kind of hold it so it's down and then poke on the top so I don't get any of that thread in the tip of my needle. And I'm going to bring it right back through that hole, and don't stab your thread when you're going through. Okay, so then I'm going to pull it through like this. Okay, and there we go. All right, and then I'm going to go back up through, and I'm going to try to stab that hole like this. Okay, so I'm going to kind of pull it taut but not hard because I don't want my paper to rip. Okay, so I don't need that much thread here. So I'm going to take my needle off, and again I'm going to make sure my pages are lined up, and I'm going to kind of tighten the thread, and I'm going to tie 3 knots. Okay, and I like to kind of land over that middle hole. There's 2 and then 3. Now a lot of people like to leave their thread tails long because they might want to like add some charms or beads or something, and I do that sometimes, but for this, because it's you know, it's for my grandchildren, I'm not. So I just clipped, or you know, trimmed it short. I'm going to take my clips off, and that's it. That's the back signature. It's all tied in. Okay, all right, then we'll do it again for the middle signature. I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle, use my needle threader, which is so lovely. Put this through the top like this, and the hook, pull it through just like that. It's threaded. And again, now I have added one of the big envelopes here because that's going to be a flip out. I'm going to put it through the middle, and I'm now in the middle column here, or middle row. Put it through the back, bring it up to the top. I'm trying to do this so you can see, but kind of hard getting my fingers and hands moving underneath that phone. Okay, so I'm up at the top. I'm putting it through the holes like that. Okay. All right, then again, I am going to pull this so it's down, and I'm going to try to get it, put my needle point right through the top of the hole so I'm not getting any of that thread in the tip of my needle. Okay, I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to go through the bottom hole that's in the middle and up through my paper hole, and here I am. Okay, I'm going to take that needle off and kind of pull it taut a little bit, making sure that I'm not going to rip my holes. And again, I'm going to tie my 3 knots. Now, if you, and I've done this many times, like I have not pulled it so it's tight and it was loose on the other side, it's really no big deal. All you do is I just clip the thread and then I start over again. So if your, you know, if your thread isn't tight enough where you like it, go ahead and just snip it off and thread it again. When I was first learning how to do that, I had to do that so many times, but once you learn how to do it, it's really easy. And I've recently been doing the five stitches, 5-stitch pamphlet, or 5, I don't know, it's the 5 stitches instead of the 3 anyways. And that's easy too, and I was a little bit intimidated at first, but I watched a video, learned how to do it, and it's no big deal. Okay, so I'm going to quickly, sorry if this is taking long, I'm going to quickly thread my needle again, just like that. I love that thing. Okay, all right, now we just have that last row, and so again, I'm going to make sure I'm upright. I've sewn many upside down before, so, which is no big deal because you just snip it and start again. So start from the middle, go through. Lordy. All right. Oh my word, sorry. Okay, go through the hole in the middle. Go up through the top,